I'm Mr. Levis, and our big learning this week. Well, 2 weeks ago, here's a true story. I had to take my truck in to get an oil change. I asked the mechanic if he could inspect my brakes to tell me if they were in need of replacement. My truck has about 50,000 miles on it, and you typically need to replace the brakes every 40 to 60,000 miles, depending on how you drive it. So I went for a 45-minute walk while they worked on my truck. When I came back, he handed me an estimate for $1,200 to replace all of the rotors and the pads for the brakes on all four wheels. Now, I go to this mechanic often, so I value his opinion, but before spending $1,200, I needed more information. And I asked him, how could you tell that they needed replacement? And his response? Well, they need to be replaced because your brake pads are down to under 2 millimeters, and the rotors are starting to warp. I'm not a mechanic, but that didn't sound good. He started with an opinion, and then backed it up with evidence from the information that he had gathered while inspecting my brakes. Now, I trust him. His claim that I needed new brakes was valid. We all have opinions. This week, we started practicing how to support our opinions in the academic setting. We called this claim writing. But really, as you can tell from my story with my auto mechanic, everyone needs to be able to support their claims with evidence, regardless of the setting or context. We start with a guiding question, like, is pineapple a good pizza topping? Yes. Are Crocs or Jordans better footwear? Sorel boots are the best. Is wearing a mask important during the COVID-19 pandemic? If it's made of wool. How can you tell that I need my brakes inspected? Well, with a good question, I can focus my effort on finding information to support my opinion. And that information gives me evidence that I can add to my opinion in order to make a valid claim.
Current events. President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris appear to have won the electoral votes needed to become the next president and vice president of the United States. I say appear because some states are so close that there could be a recount, although nearly every election expert doubts that any will result in a change in the overall outcome. President Trump's campaign team is also trying to find evidence of election irregularities. That might change the results of the state that they need to win the election. But the rules for presidential elections require that the certification to be a long process in order to get it right. So stay patient. Our system is designed to be slow, but it's also designed to get it right.